Alright guys, I figured I would give you a little update on the Taurus Pt22 Poly. We did take it out to the range and shoot it after we did several different function tests on it and tried to make it just a little bit more reliable. I think we've got it a little bit better. It's really going to have to be utilize a high velocity round like the CCI mini mags or possibly a Stinger, but I had the best as far as velocity, and I tried the Thunderbolt, I tried the bulk pack Federal Champion, tried some of my hand loads, which cycled fine, except for maybe the charge need to be upped just a little bit for this little small gun because of it does not have an extractor and it just relies on the blowback. The 22 Thunderbolts and the Federal Champion just did not have enough power to cycle. They have a really heavy spring in them, so they were just did not have enough oomph to fully push the slide far enough back to strip up another round. It would basically shoot and eject, but it wouldn't pick up the next one. So we did with the Federal 555 copper plated hollow points, which are these right here. They ran flawlessly, except for, well, I won't say flawlessly, they ran great as far as velocity. It kicked everything out. The only problem is that little hollow point was catching on the almost non-existent feed ramp. So we got it close. If I have time before I return it to its original owner, we'll see how my time goes. I may actually go in and try and polish that feed ramp up a little bit, just so we can get a little bit better feeding. The round nose bullets, like my homemade cast bullets, they fed up no problem, and the only issue we had was one stovepipe coming out of it. But I think with the CCI mini mag, it would probably work a lot better. Not gonna say that's gonna totally fix the problem, because there is one other issue. If you see how much play in this magazine there is, we'll go ahead and field strip it. If you see just how much play there has in there, and I think that lets it dip with this space right here. It lets it actually dip down. If you can see that, it actually dipped down, which I think is what's causing some of those rounds to nosedive into that feed ramp. So like I said, if I still have it in my possession before I get it back to them, I might do the O-ring trick. A small O-ring that goes on here, takes up some of that space, so that locks. If you look, it doesn't really have any positive lock on it. I think with the slide on and maybe around in the magazine, it has a little bit better positive lock, but it's just not, it's got a lot of play in it. And I know the first generations of these, that was one of the big issues. It had even more wobble than this. So, but if it's still around, I'll try and O-ring it and polish the feed ramp and see if we can't get this thing running a little bit better. Since we did the clean out of the firing pin crevice, everything seems to be functioning a little bit better as far as igniting on the first strike. I had 100% success with factory ammo. The only issue I had was with my hand loads. They have a really thick rim on them. You know, sometimes, every once in a while, on some of my revolvers, I'll have to get a double strike on them. But I'm told it's because these are steel. I don't know. I'll try and see if the magnet will stick to them. See if I can find one right quick. Yeah, see? It's actually a steel case versus like if you had the Winchester, it won't stick. Or excuse me, this is the Federal Champion bulk pack stuff. See, it doesn't stick. Whereas the Fed Arms cases are basically brass coated steel, so makes them a little bit tougher on the firing pin. So we'll go from there and see how she goes. Like I said, if it's around, we'll try and make some more adjustments, but I don't know, they may come pick it up tomorrow, so we'll see. The problem is getting the fix done to it and then actually getting it out of the range and testing it, so we'll see. Maybe if nothing else, maybe it'll come back to us at a later date to finish the possible repairs on it. Pretty cool little gun. By no means would I trust my life to it, because you know, this is a really chunky grip. It feels nice in the hand, don't get me wrong, but for this size gun, this is the reason why most of these guns are anemic. Most people don't fool with them unless they have problems with their dexterity, or, you know, arthritic hands, older people that cannot function the slide on some firearms. That tip-up barrel is a really nice option. But if you look at the size and the LCP 380, I mean, you've got a slimmer grip with about the same size slide, overall same length, with a more potent cartridge that is center fired. You don't have to worry about that rim fire capability. But these would not be, I would not be too worried about with the right ammunition, because like I said, especially with these, they are double strike. You know, you pull the hammer, it doesn't go off, you can pull the hammer again, pull the trigger, and the hammer you can keep striking as many times as you need to till the round goes off. And one other thing I wanted to fail to mention, don't never try and clear your jams here. If you got a jam, just flip that barrel up and let it kick the round out, and then cycle in another round or load one in manually. Because if you start trying to pull this back and manipulating it, as heavy as that recoil spring is, with the round in there, it's just a nightmare. So best thing to do is just flip her open, kick the case out. Give you a prime example. Unloaded case. You get a jam. Sky's the limit. Just shoot it out that way. But all in all, it's a cool little pistol. I would categorize this more of a range toy or plinking gun, or, like, you know, it's better than nothing. Better than a sharp stick or stiff words, you know. But as far as trusting my life to it, I wouldn't hesitate carrying it in my pocket, you know, for little small critters, rats, snakes, or something like that. But something that I'm not going to depend on my life to it going off every single round, because, you know, that's the problem with 22 rimfire. They are what they are. It's rimfire. That's why everybody prefers a center fire for self-defense. All right, that's my 2 cents on the 22 poly. I'm gone.